Hey guys, it's Andre. I am back with yet another epic B-roll video, this time cookie B-roll. If you haven't seen the last one, go check it out. We made some pancakes. It looked amazing. So in this video, I want to break down some of the in-camera transitions that I was using and how I enhanced those transitions using Adobe Premiere and After Effects. Let's jump right into it. Alright guys, here we are inside of Premiere Pro, and today I'm going to be showing you step by step exactly how I edited this short part of the video right here, this little sequence. And I chose this part in particular because it has a lot of the same tips and techniques that I repeated throughout the rest of the video. So first things first, we're going to double click and zoom in here on our timeline so we can see what we're looking at. Then we're going to right click on our clip, show clip keyframes, time remapping, speed. And we're going to give this little speed ramp in to about there. Command or control click. We're going to drag this up to about, let's say 700%. And then I'm just going to drag this end of the little tab until I can bring it to the end. And then to smooth it out, I'm going to click here and then click on the little circle and just smooth it out like so. And now we have a short speed ramp in. I kind of want it a little longer, so I'm just going to drag the end of this until it looks right. And I'm actually going to speed this up, and you can speed it up just by hovering your mouse over until you see the black arrow and drag it up, and we'll go to about 1,000. Now I've noticed that once you go over about 1,000%, Premiere starts dropping some frames in the speed ramp, so you have to go to Sequence, Render Into Out to be able to see the full thing. Alright, so that's looking pretty good. And we're just going to do the same thing at the end here. Alright, so moving on to the second clip, we're going to do the same thing and show the time remapping. We're going to bring this clip over a little bit. I'm going to find a point where I want it to speed ramp to, so I'm going to say about there. So already we got something that's looking pretty good, but I want to make it even smoother. So what I'm going to do is duplicate the second clip, use the blade tool to just cut up the first 2 frames and drag it over on top of the second clip. And what I'm going to do with this is make a mask over here in the opacity on the effect controls. I'm going to draw a mask around this shape right here. Okay, and then I'm just going to feather it a little bit. I'm going to cut that clip in half. Then I'm just going to delete the mask from this clip and do it again for the other frame. And what this is going to allow us to do is to give us a little bit of a smoother transition into this shape here. It's going to start earlier than it actually does, and that's going to look pretty cool. See that? Boom, boom, boom. And as you can see, that is looking much smoother. So here's what it looks like without that. And here's what it looks like with it. It's extremely subtle, but it just helps that transition to feel more continuous. But we're not done yet. We still have one more step to do before this transition is complete. So I'm going to go over here and create a new adjustment layer. And then I'm just going to drag that on top of the 2 clips and shorten it down. And so what I want to do with this is create some motion blur in between the transition, because if this camera was moving this fast, there would be some blur in between the transition. So I'm going to go over here and search for the directional blur effect and apply it to the adjustment layer. Then I'm going to set the blur length to about 40, and I'm going to set the direction to about 90 degrees. This will make it horizontal. And we're going to animate the blur length, so set a keyframe in the middle of the transition. Go to the beginning, set that to 0, go to the end, and set that to 0. Now we're just going to render it out one more time, and this is what it looks like. And so now I'm going to do the same thing at the end of this clip with the speed ramping. So for this transition to work, we have a bit of a problem. I want these 2 clips to connect, but this one is coming up, and I didn't record long enough to really go down here. So see, it just kind of stops. It doesn't really have that movement that I'm looking for. So to help solve this problem, what I'm going to add is a film burn effect. Here's some film burns that I downloaded online. If you just search film burns, free download, I'm sure you'll be able to find lots that you can get for free. I'm just going to choose this little section here and throw it on top of the transition. And I'm going to set the speed/duration to 200%. And then I'm going to add a little fade in at the beginning and the end here. And finally, I'm going to go over here and set the blending mode to overlay. No, I'm not, just kidding. Screen, that's the one we want. And then, like we've done in every clip, I am just going to speed ramp this to about this point here. That's a little bit too fast for my liking. So I'm just gonna cut a couple of frames off here and bring that back a little bit. And the final thing we're gonna do is just copy this adjustment layer over. So I'm just gonna Option click and drag it over here, or you can just Command C, Command V. Pro tip for copying: if you do Command C, Command V, oh no, it just went in my video layer. To fix that, click this button right here and it won't paste on your video layer. Then click on track 3 where you want it to paste, and bam, now it'll paste to whatever layer is selected here. So since this clip is going up, we're going to set the direction to 0 degrees so that now it's going vertically, and that is looking pretty smooth. And then as the butter comes down, I'm going to speed ramp. And a lot of this is just tweaking where you want the speed to begin and end. Let's bring our last clip over and do the same thing we've done for all the other clips. Okay, so now to make this even more seamless, we're going to do exactly what we did before. Duplicate this clip, blade tool, cut a couple frames off, drag it over, and then I'm just going to mask out her hand here. So I'm just going to put this right over her hand, maybe a little bit of scale. Extremely subtle, but it just helps it look so smooth. Then if we want, we can do what we did before, copy our vertical blur over here. So it's already looking really cool. But I want to take it a step further. So what we're going to do is just take this clip here and nest it, and I'm just going to call it butter flip. Helpful to name your clips. And now we can adjust our scale and position parameters without worrying about the time remapping and how that's going to affect it. And so what I want to do for this clip is just increase the scale and have it zoom into the butter as it's going up, just to increase the drama. So I'm going to set a keyframe about here and end it where I want the scale to stop. And then since it's scaling in directly to the center, I'm also going to have to adjust the position so that it's more in frame. So right off the bat, this is what we get, which looks pretty cool. Then I'm just going to set another position keyframe as it's coming down, so we follow that motion. Now this is looking pretty cool, but not super smooth. So what I'm going to do is twirl down the little arrow here for scale and position. And I'm going to click on this and drag this out like so to about there. And I want this one to be the exact same length, because if it's not, then things start getting weird. So you can see how long both of these are by highlighting them both at once. So those are looking about the same. Then we're just going to drag this one down so it lines up with this line and drag it out just a little bit. And I'm going to give this a little bit of a curve as well. And since this is at the edge, I can't change anything here, so I'm just going to move it over. Drag it out a little bit so it has a nice hump. And drag it back. And now that's what it looks like. It's all about the minor adjustments, guys. Just play through it, watch it. If something looks off, adjust it, watch it again. And that's honestly one of the biggest tips I can give you guys. So after I do all the transitions, I start working on sound design and color grading. These are some of the final finishing touches that you definitely want to add to your video. If you'd like to see me cover these topics in more depth, please let me know in the comments below. Here is the final look that I settled on. Before, after. If you want to try out an edit of your own of this exact same footage, I put a link in the description where you can download it and a couple clips that are not shown here. So go check that out, go download it, and if you do create something, post it on Instagram and tag me at Andre.Fru, and I'll check out what you made. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you learned something, make sure to give this video a like, subscribe if you want to see more content and tutorials like this, and remember, keep creating, guys. This light, by the way, absolutely incredible. Ready? Oh, wrong button. Look at that.